Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him he should cut a few corners. Skimp out on the disinfectant. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room.
Are you suggesting extortion?
That's the word, extortion. Been on the tip of my tongue all day.
Why is it I keep using words that have one meaning for me and apparently have a completely different meaning for everybody else? I think we talk to him before we start snooping around.
What can I do for you?
Okay. I have some questions for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, apparently I don't. Right, do you mind if I have a look around? I'm trying to help you out with your grave site situation. Okay. That's... You know, for a place this small, I have to say there is rather a lot of dying going on. Okay, Conrad, receptionist shot himself. This is bad. Company's going to have to call it for what it is. Destruction of Spacer's choice property. Eugene was an asset. Somebody has to pay his body price. This is going to ruin us. So I was thinking that we pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth. Heirlooms passed down his family or something. You're processing the body right. Just dig around, pry him out. We'll sell the teeth somewhere nice and quiet and use the bits to pay his body price, and nobody's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back. In fact, don't talk to me at all. Just give me special signal next time you see me. Waggle your eyebrows. Really?
What can I do for you?
Waggle your eyebrows. So I know about Eugene. Why not use his teeth as collateral for your gravesite fees? Yeah.
You know about Eugene? How?
I spoke to Phyllis. I found a note from Phyllis. None of your business. I'm a mind reader. Yes, I'm a mind reader.
You were probably poking around my things. I really shouldn't leave my letters sitting out in the open.
Okay.
Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave.
I'm sure he won't miss them then.
That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate
That's
measures.
Gross. That's
I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees.
Sorry, but I'm just... yeah, are we absolutely sure? This is your decision, not mine. I won't get into trouble for it, basically.
I'm sure that I have no other choice.
I'm pretty sure you don't either.
Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
I'm told Eugene killed himself. What happened? Probably a touchy subject, but here goes.
Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life.
So the town never had to pay a penalty?
We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
And it's the digging up of a corpse that's ew and disgusting. Right? Your entire town is ooh and disgusting. You're the only person I've met that seems to have compassion for everybody.
Where are we headed?
Good grief. Right, so we'll tell him to dig up the body, use the teeth as collateral. Then, hopefully, we'll have all of our business done here and we can get back to the geothermal plant and, you know, start ruining everybody's day. I think we should talk to the people in the botanic lab one last time.
Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to be had, and nary a word of complaint out of your clients.
We need to talk about Eugene. Yes, we do.
Yeah? What about him?
I read the letter from Phyllis. She mentioned digging him up for his gold teeth. I'll tell you what, let's not dump Phyllis in this just yet. You first. I know you buried him.
Well, yeah. It's what I'm contractually obligated to do. What's this about?
His solid gold teeth could be worth something if you pulled them out, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? And so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away. Vanished. The footprints nearby suggested that Eugene was stolen by marauders. Or he rose from the dead.
This is getting a little absurd for me. No, I'll find them.
Let me know if you find anything.
So somebody has stolen Eugene's body and you think it's the marauders that are eating the Oh, please tell me they're not digging up the bodies and putting them in. Just no, please tell me. At the next trader we go to, I am going to sell all my Spacer's Choice food. I can't actually see anything that would help me track down who took the corpse. I've checked every grave, I think, and I can't see any conveniently placed clues, like a note saying, I, grave robber, am heading off to location X with body. Did I miss any, I don't know, clues?
Something I can do for you?
About the fees you wanted?
You run into any trouble?
Well, I'm done. I suppose technically I am done. Do I not need to find the golden teeth? I'm done. I've got the paperwork, the fees, and the signatures.
Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to.
Okay. So I went out of... Abernathy was trying to hide his own... But no! I went out of my way for you. I did. I really went out of my way for you.
And I'll buy you a drink sometime.
That's very nice, thank you. You know what? I really don't want to talk to you much more. Okay, yeah, right. Oh, I tell you what, I do... Let's do it somewhere else. I do have some points to spend. Yes, I do. Skills! What do I want to do? Do I boost? Oh, do I go for the 20 hack? I mean, I've not regretted getting inspiration to 20. What does science do? Improve your weapons and armor in the work. Oh. So if I get break down weapons and armor for a 20% chance to extract a basic mod. Oh, if I get 10 more tech, That would possibly let me improve my weapons and armor in the workbench. Currently, I can't do it. But a 10 more would allow me to do that. That unlocks that. It does seem like a lot of the skill level 20 abilities are very, very useful. I still fancy... Oh, and of course, we did find a door I couldn't get through. That could become more of an issue in the future. As tempted as I am to improve tech so I can tinker, I really don't want to spread myself too thin. So it comes down to, do I want to be able to lie and intimidate a little better, or do I want to be able to sell to vending machines, which is less important, and lockpick? Honestly, lockpick is kind of useful for getting into some of those little containers, but actually I think for some of the serious stuff, there's usually a way around. I'm going to make sure I can talk my way out of... Oh, what happens now? Ah, it only applies to those, right. I sort of feel like I'm wasting points once one of them hits 50, which I suppose in a way I kind of am. If I want to get better at lying, I have to specifically put points in there. But I sort of feel like the points are better spent. Must admit, I like the idea of intimidate. That's the one that really, really... that is the one that really attracts me. Okay, and right, once I get them to 50, I think at that point then I go for a little bit in hack, and then maybe spend a little bit in science. I mean, I do get some benefit from medical and from engineering as well, I guess, but probably I wouldn't take it any further because then it would be 20. Lockpick, I have a feeling I'm going to want to get lockpick as high as 50 so I can keep... Oh, and then the shooting... Oh, you know what? No. Let's do that. Let's face it. I may need to be able to talk quickly sometime soon. Now, before we go to the botanic lab, I do want to check one thing first.
For me.
I'm not seeing any gold teeth. And I couldn't see any on the conveyor either. Now, I've checked most of the rooms here. In fact, I think I've checked all of the rooms and I didn't see any teeth. But let's face it, it's not as if they're, you know... well, massive things that are going to jump out at me. But maybe now that I know to look for them, I might see a little... Excuse me. Just wanted to ask if you'd found any teeth. I'm not seeing... Steal the kick me sign. Never ever steal an engineer's kick me sign, okay? Just... don't do it. Yeah, honestly, I'm not... Maybe we could just talk to Thompson. Maybe we've got some more, you know, things to say to him before we head off to the botanic lab. Because, well, I have a feeling the next time we swing back by this way, we might be a little less welcome. Although I'm not sure how that's going to solve my problem because I need a power regulator. Unless I can take the one here when they've got no power because they won't need it anymore. I'm sure they'd love to sell it to me at that point. Okay, so he doesn't have teeth on his desk. Okay,
Something on your mind?
an awful lot is on my mind. I'm wondering...
Go ahead.
We need to have a word about this plague. Yes, we do. Maybe.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up.
Okay, how long has this plague been happening? Yes.
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
10 years. Last 10 years. You should have developed an immunity after repeated exposure to a single strain of contagion. That is true.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is
Really?
a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude. And it is one we will see through to the end.
Well, if it's a test, do you think the board orchestrated it? You withhold medicine from your own workers. Yes, you do.
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose.
You let Adelaide's son die. Have we not?
Adelaide's son was barely competent. I treat him with our medical rations, and it looks like I'm playing favorites. Now, I will not pretend to understand the suffering Adelaide must have felt on account of losing her child, but she is not the only one to have felt such suffering. I wish she had stayed with us. Adelaide left us when we needed her most.
Well, maybe you should have thought of that. I mean, using your own logic of how valuable people are, well, perhaps you should have given her son medicine because of how valuable she is. You see, even if you act like a callous monster, your logic doesn't make sense. Alright, that did not... Well, I'm not going to say it didn't help. It did help reinforce the idea that I can't stand Edgewater. Just...
Something you need?
No, nothing. Right, we're heading back to the botanical lab, and then we're heading to the geothermal plant. And, yeah, I have a feeling that's when all hell will break loose. We just hand the book in to Thomas and then maybe have one last word with Adelaide just in case there's some other option we've not explored.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
Today's your lucky day, Thomas. I've got one of those datapads you wanted, yes.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
Number 3. The elusive part 3. Someone stashed it away inside the old geothermal plant.
The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals.
It was.
That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati. I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
Okay.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Oh, I keep forgetting to... yeah, no, oh. Do you have anything I can ask you?
What's on your mind?
I'm just... Never mind. This is the workbench. Do you mind if I use your workbench? Because I do actually have... Alright, retrofitted... Wait, so I cannot modify... I can't modify the hibernation suit. I can repair it. Okay. Then what can I add to this? I can add toughened. Increases body armor and helmet armor ratings against physical damage. Physical armor rating 3. So I could increase this one by... Okay, electrocharge surface. This stuns and damages melee attackers. That does sound nice. Increase your melee and defensive skills. Can I put one of these on, or can I put one from each branch on? Oh, I don't have any utility ones. The thing is as I do, this armor is better. at keeping me alive. Okay, no, it can have one skill kit, one gadget, one armoring. All right. This one is nowhere near as good from an armor point of view, but it doesn't reduce my lock picking. And seeing as I'm doing that an awful lot, plus this is not something I want to be seen outside because it does seem to make me look like a marauder. What can I add? I can add one of each to these as well. I can't help but feel... The only thing is I don't have many of these. I sort of want to find some better armor. I kind of want to find some better armor. I do. And I've got... I haven't given up finding something I actually like. No, I haven't. Believe it or not. Finding a suit of armor that is useful and at the same time not
I'm listening.
ridiculous. This might strange, but I don't know where I am. That would sound very strange because I should know where I am. However, let's go with it.
That's not strange at all, dear. Few of us truly know where we are. The world can seem like a forest without end, and it is all too easy to lose one's way. But we must remember that being lost is the first step in discovering yourself.
Not the answer I was expecting, but you still cheered me up. No, I actually do know where I am, but let's go with cheered up. I'm cheerful.
Glad I could help, dear. A sadness of the heart brings sickness upon the whole body. Are you not feeling well? Ought to lay your head down if you're running fever.
Right. Oh, I was just getting my bearings. My pad... Right, I was kidnapped by a crazy scientist shot into space, but thanks for asking. I'm hoping this is all a bad dream and I'm still in hibernation. Actually, that would work.
I get the sense that when you say hibernation, you are not talking about a full night's sleep. Where did you say you were from?
Okay, does the Hope ring any bells?
Is that a new settlement of some kind?
God.
I haven't kept news from outside the Veil.
Not exactly. It's a colony ship.
Oh, you're talking about that old piece of folklore. Now I'm convinced you're delirious. You really ought to lay your head down, dear. Babbling only agitates the humors. You ought to try some of my purgative tea. Won't cure what ails you, but it will distract you for a spell.
You don't believe me. You don't. So you don't believe me that I'm from a colony ship, right?
Maybe I do. I don't know yet. Growing up, I heard my folks talking about the Hope. Always believed it was just a story we told ourselves to keep our spirits up. Listen, don't you worry about what I think. That's not important. Worry about what the board thinks of you going around talking about lost ships from decades past.
I'm not afraid of the... Why? I haven't done anything wrong. Yeah, let's go with why.
You carry on about coming here from another world, and people will talk. Talk leads to questions. Ask enough questions, and the board comes answering.
I'm not afraid of the board, mostly because I'm ignorant.
No, but the board may have reason to fear you.
Really? Okay, let's talk about something else. Anything else?
I'm listening.
I don't know. Some way we could just... So there's no... Where the hell is... There's no way we can just... I don't know... Get these guys to talk to each other?
Yeah, huh?
Here's the thing. You're the one that wanted me to talk to the vicar. The vicar said we should find some other solution. I suspect neither of you thought the solution would be divert power away from Edgewater as much as a horror show that place happens to be. But I'm not seeing any things to not steal. I'm not seeing any, you know, alternatives here. I either side with one side or the other, condemning one side probably to either die or... Do they have to... if I take power away from Edgewater, would it have the same effect as taking power away from this place? I take power away from this place, and it forces these guys to go back and work for Thompson. If I take power away from Edgewater, would it force those guys to come here? Possibly. And seeing as I'm worried about what they're putting in the food, I'm thinking that might be a plus point, although we still never did find out what Adelaide puts in her fertilizer, did we? There was something about that, something about the way it came up made me really curious. I remember thinking, she's not stealing the bodies. Oh. Oh. Okay. Ish. Oh my. She is okay. That's not as twisted as eating them, though. I mean, using them as fertilizer, it's not. Well, it's not. Well, it's not brilliant, and I'm definitely not going to be saying yes to the tea. But honestly, of all of the things I've heard so far, it's the least horrific, although it explains the fertilizer. That doesn't explain why they're getting... maybe the illness is just caused by some sort of plague, or maybe it is something they're putting in the food, but it's not dead bodies, which is a mild relief.
I'm listening.
Yeah. You want to tell me what these gold teeth are for?
Haven't you ever seen a novelty paperweight?
Reminds me... Perception. Your left eye twitches when you're trying to lie. Apparently it does.
Whatever absurd accusations you have churning about in your mind, I assure you I have heard them all.
Okay. I'm just saying, there's this guy I heard about called Eugene, and he had gold teeth.
I remember a Eugene. Pleasant enough boy. Whatever happened to him?
From the looks of... Oh! No, she didn't. No. If she'd have had him killed, Conrad would have put that in the report, because that would have looked way better. So, actually, that's a point. I never actually said anything happened.
I did nothing wrong. The teeth were harvested from a body that went cold long before my tools ever touched it. Gold does not decompose. The teeth had to be removed. And while I am no licensed dentist, I should think I did a fair job of it.
You're using decomposed bodies to fortify the soil and help your crops along. I can't... So you stole Eugene's body out of the cemetery?
Stealing implies property. Are you trying to tell me that the husk of flesh that was Eugene's body belongs to Spacer's choice long after the spirit has left it?
That didn't actually answer my question. Why would you keep Eugene's body here?
My dear, I wasn't keeping a corpse in my garden.
Yeah.
I was returning it to the soil where it belonged, where it could do some good for my crops. The crops I grow here are natural, nutritious, healthy. My garden does more than fill the bellies of my flock. It keeps them from falling ill.
Okay. You seem pretty calm for someone who just admitted grinding up corpses for fertilizer. What do you mean it keeps them from falling ill?
Do you see anyone ailing in my camp? Unlike the people in Edgewater, My flock don't fall sick with plague.
You could help a lot of people in town? Oh, yeah. Couldn't you grow crops for the people in town?
I'd rather they learn to help themselves by leaving that dreadful town behind. The people in this camp all had the courage to walk away from the cannery, and you see how happy they are.
You could always teach them to farm rather than do the... I think the illness is caused by what they're putting in the food, because you guys don't get ill here. And Zoe got ill and then left and stopped being ill. You could always teach them to farm.
The Vale's barren. Been that way for years. Soil's been sterile about as long as I can remember.
But you found a way to grow something.
All I did was follow nature's own way. Death is essential to life. When the spirit leaves the body returns to the earth from whence it came. What remains is a carcass moldering neath the soil. Decomposition is a natural process, essential to new life. All life feeds on other life.
You've been quiet, Parvati. You have an opinion. Yeah, right. Whoa. To be honest with you, I'm not really that offended by you using the bodies as fertilizer. Thing is if I redirect the power here, and that forces the people of Edgewater to come here, they'll get healthy, which is great. Except they'll also stop dying, which means you don't get your fertilizer. So then you'll all die of starvation. Could you use the sprats? Just kill sprats and use them as fertilizer? Because I think that's what they're putting in the food. They're putting the sprats in the food and that's making people ill. If you put the sprats in the ground, could you... Okay, let's just... I'm glad I didn't eat before talking to you. No, okay. You've been quiet, Parvati. You have an opinion. She's using your friends as fertilizer. Yeah, when you put it like that, that does sound bad.
Oh, I don't know. If it was me, I'd be glad to volunteer. Keeping others alive, that'd be a beautiful gift to leave. But none of the folk you used had a say. You didn't ask, ma'am. And what about my dad? I talk to his grave every Saturday. Is he even there?
Robert is just where you left him, dear. He died too long ago. By now, he's naught but a skeleton.
Still think you're crazy? I need to think about this.
Whatever you say, my dear.
Okay. But that doesn't help. Well, I mean, it sheds some light on this. Okay.
Something you need?
I just want to... No. Can we talk to other people now that we know that and...
Hey there.
I want to ask you something.
What's on your mind?
Never mind. This doesn't really help, though. I've got to decide... Well, I've not got to decide. I mean, there's no way I'm going to force the people here back to Edgewater because I don't like Edgewater, and knowing the fact that they use the dead to fertilise things isn't going to actually help. There's got to be another way. The vicar was really like, find another way.
I'm listening.
The vicar said, find another way. He said, find another way. Bring them together. How do I bring them together? These guys don't want to go back and work for Thompson, and I can sort of understand that. I completely understand that. Because I have a feeling even if she went back and said, oh, I've got some great ideas, he's going to be saying, yes, but is it a Spacer idea? It's not a Spacer's Choice idea. If it's not a Spacer's Choice idea, it's not a good idea. So let's shelve that idea, shall we, and continue to die. I've got to go back. I've got to go back and at least try and talk to people. See if there's some new options available. Silas.
Something I can do for you?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, should I tell her? The thing is I want to try and get something useful out of these people. You were wondering what happened to Eugene. I found his teeth.
Oh, law, don't tell me. Marauders were serving his body as the centerpiece in their vile feasts. Did they stick a mock apple in his mouth?
Just... None of the... Okay, yeah, but I took care of them. Grisly business. You want to buy the teeth. There you go.
Still in good condition? I could always ask Conrad to have them installed.
No! Will you keep the money. Just bury these, please.
Oh, that's uncommon kindly of you. I'll see Eugene's teeth return to their place of rest.
'Cause I don't even want to know where you were thinking of installing them. I need to take my brain out of my skull and give it a thorough scrub after I leave here.
What can I do for you?
I'm just
Go ahead.
fishing for information, basically, so nothing apparently. I'm running out of options, basically. I don't suppose...
We'll get you mostly drunk at half the price. Spacer's choice.
Just felt like chatting, maybe?
Go ahead.
You asked me about myself, that's not gonna
Suppose
help.
I did. Ready to talk about it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
That right. Prove it.
I'm an alien spirit of pure ether inhabiting a human body to learn about your kind. Yes.
Oof. You knocked your head in the cannery, didn't you? Injuries come out of everyone's pay. Says so right there in your contract. So, you want to tell me what your story really is?
I wondered if telling you a complete lie would actually, help. A crazy scientist stranded me on this planet with no way out other than a broken down ship.
Sounds as if you've been keeping questionable company. Or spinning a tale? You're right. I don't believe you. I'd advise you to keep that story unsaid. Don't want people thinking you're a loon.
No, that would be terrible. I wouldn't want the fine people of this town to think I was a little insane. I mean, that wouldn't do, would it?
Somebody's been spinning a tale about a lost colony ship. Talk like that'll get you reported real quick.
Whereas a variety of other inhumane actions won't. I'd like to talk to you about Eugene.
I paid his burial fees, didn't I? Let the dead sleep.
Well, Conrad tells me Eugene wasn't a suicide. Okay, yeah.
I don't understand. I found Eugene's body. I know the guy shot himself. Wait, are you telling me he was murdered?
No. Okay. Eugene overdosed on medication. The medication drove him paranoid.
He was plagued? Oh, Law, that's awful. I helped carry his body out. I could have been infected. This is all a little too much for me to take in. But I guess if Eugene wasn't a suicide, our town won't have to pay a penalty.
Yay! Goody! Just... Yeah. Right. Hello again. Just a last call in before I go off and do that task at the geothermal plant.
Something on your mind?
I wanted to talk to you about something. No, I didn't. Probably knew that already. It was a random shot in the dark. On the off chance that you might say something that might convince me to do something else. Because right now I can see no other choice, really. I gotta turn the power off to one of these places. And let's face it, it's this place. I mean, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. I'm not forcing the deserters to go back there. No, I'm not. I cannot condemn the deserters to that life. Whereas I could quite easily condemn them to a life of apparent sick-free existence with food at the botanical labs, assuming they actually get their act together and move out, rather than just, you know, sitting down and patiently waiting to die. Is that what they're gonna do if I turn the power off there? And you just don't want to talk to me?
Yeah, huh?
I didn't talk to the priest, to the vicar, maybe. I know he's depressed about the book thing. Maybe he will finally come through and say something useful.